The battles against Gohan Black are over, thanks to the power of his Beast state, as well as the newly acquired Orange Piccolo. Gohan, Goku, and Vegeta were able to dispose of Gohan Black and save the future in the process, as well as stop Zamasu from having a terrible fate. Now the Kaioshin lives on, with a watchful eye over him, wondering if mortals were right all along. The Tournament of Power is coming up, with the fate of the universes at stake. Gohan is chosen as the leader of Universe 7, ready to take on anyone who threatens their existence. After battling that monster known as Gohan Black Beast, Gohan realized that his power wasn't the only thing he had to work on, but also his teamwork. Without his friends, father, and master, he wouldn't have been able to save the future. But aside from that, there was another interesting thing that he learned from that experience. The ki constructs, the ki blade, different type of ki techniques. That was something Gohan could use in the future. So shortly after returning to the present, Gohan began experimenting with ki manipulation. He tested out different types of ki constructs, figuring what worked, what didn't work, and discovering the limits of what he could use ki with. Gohan made sure to write all of this down and began writing down notes for a new book, something he would name Groundbreaking Science, The Guide to Ki Control. He didn't have any intentions in publishing this book. More than anything, this was for himself, and to share his findings with his daughter, Pan, when she grew older. He wanted her to experience the joy of flying, and so she could defend herself. No matter what happened, he wanted her to learn everything he knew. With time, Gohan was able to successfully summon a Keyblade without losing any fingers. He swung it around a bit, learning how far he could extend his range. This reminded him a lot of his time training with Piccolo and with the Sea Sword. But he didn't stop there. He continued trying to discover new ways to use his energy. Gohan was so engrossed in his research that several months passed on by without him realizing it. If it wasn't for the support of Piccolo and Videl, he probably would have forgotten to eat or take showers. It was during a visit with Piccolo, with a daily reminder to stop research and take care of his daughter for at least a while, that Goku suddenly teleported into his study. The pair were taken aback. It was rare for Goku to come in for visits at his study. It could only mean something bad was about to happen. Sure enough, Goku begged Gohan and Piccolo for their help. It was nearly time for the Tournament of Power, and the stakes couldn't be higher. If they lose, then their entire universe will be destroyed. Piccolo is shocked to hear about this, but Gohan is absolutely livid. He nearly breaks his desk in two out of frustration, which catches Goku out of surprise. Who did Zeno think he was, toying around with people's lives like this? Goku tries to calm his son down, who finally manages to take a deep breath. Gohan agrees to join in the tournament, as he wouldn't allow anyone he cares about to die. Goku and Piccolo are glad to see his resolve, as they agree to meet at Capsule Corp later that day. Gohan makes sure to spend his time wisely, training with Piccolo and even testing out their max power for a while. They have unconditional trust in each other. Gohan is glad to see old faces like Krillin, Tien, and Master Roshi again. It was unanimously decided by everyone that Gohan would be the team captain. Not only was he their strongest warrior, but he was also one of the smartest as well. His tactics and knowledge of each of his teammates would prove invaluable. Gohan thanks everyone for placing their trust in him, bowing as he promised not to let them all down. Goku suggests recruiting Frieza from Hell, but Gohan vehemently refuses. How could they even think about bringing him back? Couldn't they just go back to the future and recruit Trunks? Even with these stakes in mind, Beerus refused to allow them to mess with time ever again. In the original story, it was a discussion between the two Zenos that prompted the idea of the destruction of the universes during the Tournament of Power. But with Goku still being Goku around here, I believe that the discussion would have steered that way eventually, even if it's just with the Grand Priest. With a heavy heart, Gohan relents as he accepts Goku's request to bring back Frieza. It took a few hours, but Goku eventually returned with him, although everyone noticed that they were far more bruised and beaten than they would have expected. It was almost time for the tournament to commence, but before that, Gohan pulled Frieza aside, warning him not to play any games. He would get along with the rest of the team and help them fight for their universe, because if he didn't, Gohan would make sure to grant Frieza a fate worse than death. Frieza tries to maintain his cool and call Gohan on his bluff, but one look at his eyes were enough to let the Emperor know he wasn't joking. Given how he was easily killed earlier by Gohan when he invaded Earth, Frieza could vividly remember the intense power of that feral animal, and it shook him to his core. He tried to do mental training when he returned to Hell, creating various scenarios in which he could have possibly killed Gohan, but he couldn't. Even when he mastered his golden form, it was useless. In every scenario he envisioned, Frieza couldn't discover any way to beat him. Back in the present, Frieza starts to sweat as he promises the filthy monkey that he would never dream of betraying his allies. Gohan stares coldly at Frieza, punching him in the gut so hard that Frieza nearly blacks out. Frieza collapses to his knees, coughing up some blood, with Gohan walking away and looking back. Good. You better keep your promise, Frieza, if you know what's good for you. Goku asks Frieza if he's alright. He looked like he'd seen a ghost. Frieza looks over to Gohan, slightly panicking, as he reiterates that everything is fine. He just had to use the Little Emperor's room is all. Were they going to stand around gawking at him, or were they going to face the tournament? They were already being transported to the world of Void. The Z-Fighters scanned the rest of the competition, and it quickly became apparent that, in terms of pure power, most of their enemies would be easy to deal with, except for one. Gohan could feel immense strength and heat emanating from the strongest Pride Trooper of Universe 11, Jiren the Grey. Gohan knew it. This guy would be a problem. But that's alright. Gohan was a scholar and a teacher and a father. Solving problems was his specialty. The tournament started with a bang, as Gohan ordered his team to stick together before bursting into his ultimate state. In the original story, the androids Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza refused as they quickly split up across the area. In this story, however, everyone has deep respect for Gohan and his immense strength. Despite their desire to fight strong opponents on their own, Goku and even Vegeta listen to Gohan as they remain with their team. Frieza nearly makes a break for it, but once he hears Gohan's order to stand there or else, he immediately stops in his tracks. With the team of Universe 7 together, they make quick work of anyone foolish enough to fight them all. The trio of the Dangerous and the rest of Universe 9 are quickly wiped out within the first few seconds, followed closely behind by Universe 10 and Universe 2. The Gods of Destruction and Supreme Kai in the stands couldn't believe what they were seeing. Their teams were being taken out so fast. Just how strong was Universe 7? Beerus grins with a satisfied look on his face, openly bragging about how fantastic his mortals were, as they continue to eliminate more enemies. Gohan and Goku were glad to see Hit again, eager to see just how much he's improved since the last tournament. Hit was more than willing to unleash his ultimate technique right from the start, his Cage of Time. He attempted to trap Gohan, wagering that by sealing him away, the rest of Universe 7 would fall. However, in the blink of an eye, Gohan shattered through the time cage. A flash of white and purple was the last thing Hit saw before being uppercutted out of the area. After witnessing their strongest fighter eliminated so easily, Champa orders his Saiyans Caulifla and Kale to fuse together. They do so without any hesitation, creating a powerful warrior named Kefla. She challenges Gohan to a fight right off the bat, as Goku offers to take his place. Kefla isn't interested in fighting that old man, but once Goku shows off the aura of Super Saiyan God, she changes her mind. Goku proves to be more than a match for Kefla, which annoys the fusion to no end. She pulls out her ace in the hole, however, revealing that she has the Super Saiyan state. Yet, none of the Universe 7 fighters seem surprised. Goku even comments on how if regular Super Saiyan is all she got. The battle resumes, with Goku continuing to dominate the battle. In a fit of rage, Kefla powers up even further, finally learning Super Saiyan 2. Goku wonders if he should use the Kaioken Blue, but Gohan steps up to the plate. He didn't want his father to take all the glory or waste any more of his energy. This would be his fight now. Kefla questions why he isn't going Super Saiyan during the battle. Was he looking down on her? Gohan simply explains that he would never do such a thing. A long time ago, he chose to reject his Saiyan nature and focus on evolving on his human side. Yet, he now believes that he has come this far because of both human and Saiyan sides of him. Denying a part of himself would only lead to inner turmoil in his heart. Just this once, he would try to enjoy the fight, like his father and Vegeta. Just this once, he would try to fight like a Saiyan. Gohan's aura erupts into that of a golden display of crackling electricity as Gohan shows off Super Saiyan 2 for the first time in many years. Gohan perks up, taking a book out of his back pocket and writing down the speech he just gave. He needed to put that in his book. This sight catches Kefla completely off guard, but for the Z fighters, they find the form very nostalgic. Gohan mentions how he hasn't used this state in a long time, but he remembers the feeling of using it. Every time he's in this form, he feels an overwhelming urge to battle. Alright Kefla, you wanna fight? I'll give it to you. I'll show you what an ascended Super Saiyan really looks like. Gohan rushed down to Kefla in a flurry of blows, forcing the fusion on the defensive as he tries to figure out a counterattack. Unfortunately to her, Gohan's defenses were airtight, and he wasn't giving her a moment to breathe. As Ki Blast struck the area like lightning, Kefla fired a massive twin blast of untold power. Goku, Vegeta, and Beerus yelled at Gohan to get out of the way. Yet Gohan looked right at the attack head-on, simply muttering a single word. For a moment, Gohan's eyes turned red and his hair extended outwards, shifting into ghostly white. He fires his own Kamehameha, which pushes Kefla's own blast back. Universe 6 was quickly eliminated. Jiren, who had been meditating through the tournament, finally opened his eyes. Gohan's power had caused the Titan of Justice to awaken. Jiren approached Universe 7, demanding a battle with that one with the ridiculous hair. But 17 points out that comment doesn't really narrow things down. He points to Gohan requesting to battle, but Goku walks forward, unleashing Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. He asks to fight him first. Jiren isn't impressed, but he humors Goku, saying that he'll eliminate him quickly. It'll be a good warm-up to match up against Gohan. As Goku charges towards Jiren and Vegeta in the middle battles against Toppo, the two warriors grappled each other in a contest of strength. Toppo insults the prince by asking if he was content with playing second fiddle to Goku. Vegeta merely chuckles in amusement. In a moment of humility, Vegeta admits that he may be playing second fiddle in Universe 7, but he will never be weaker than Kakarot. Vegeta roars, revealing the ascended, superior evolution of Super Saiyan Blue, firing a Gamma Burst that shoots Toppo out of the arena. When the mechanical fighters of Universe 3 unveil their fusion trump card to create Anilaza, Piccolo is ready to retaliate. He puts his hand out, requesting his teammates to stand back. He could take care of this threat by himself. Gohan isn't sure to let him at first, but Krillin reminds him that trust isn't a one-way street. If they were able to place their trust in him, then it was only fair for Gohan to place his trust in his teammates. Gohan sighs and nods, with a smile, encouraging Mr. Piccolo to give it all he's got. Orange Piccolo had arrived, and he was there to defeat the giant beast standing before him. Using gigantification, Piccolo grows exponentially as he reaches Anilaza's height, locking him in a 1-to-1 slugfest of titanic proportions. Many fighters were knocked aside from the colossal movements of the kaiju. Piccolo wraps his arms around Anilaza, locking him in place as he twists around with all his might. Piccolo holds his grip around him as he judo throws Anilaza directly into the abyss, eliminating Universe from the tournament in one fell swoop. With over 30 minutes to spare, nearly every fighter had been removed from the area. Gohan orders his team to restrict Dispo's movements and prevent him from using his outstanding speed. He would assist his father against Jiren, as the Earthlings and Vegeta begrudgingly team up with Frieza against the Rabbit Speedster. Gohan manages to reach Goku just in time, as Jiren had finished exhausting Goku out of all his energy and throw him off the ring. Gohan grabs his father's hand before he could be eliminated. "Thank you for fighting for so long, Dad. Don't worry, I'll take it from here." The two aces of Universe 7 and Universe 11 stare each other down once again. Fierce determination was blazing from Gohan's eyes. He was ready to finish this. Yet, Jiren is taken aback when he asked one question. How did he become so strong? Jiren ponders for a moment, deciding that he will honor this opponent's request. His actions deserve respect. He deserved an explanation. Jiren tells his story of his youth, about how his family and master were killed right before his eyes. As Jiren told this tale, Gohan couldn't help but feel immense sympathy for him. But more than that, Gohan realized that he and Jiren were a lot alike. They were both naive, innocent kids once long ago, who had their childhoods taken away from them. They had a family, their master, their entire world taken from them. The only difference between the two was that Gohan had the Dragon Balls that could fix his problems and bring the lost back. Gohan wonders if without the Dragon Balls and the support of his family, he could have turned out just like Jiren, a respectful yet righteous man that valued power over anything else. Gohan shares his thoughts with Jiren, as the giant stays quiet.
Perhaps there is more to our connection than I initially believed. However, that changes nothing. I have absolute strength, cultivated over the course of my life through rigorous, unrelenting training. I will make you submit, son Gohan.
I'm not sure about that, Jiren. Like I said earlier, I nearly walked the same path as you, and I know what it's like to chase after absolute power. But I realized that there's only so much strength one can gain on their own. It's better to rely on teammates and friends. It's through those bonds that real strength can be found. Maybe if you had believed this, then your universe wouldn't be on the verge of losing.
Enough talk. Let's settle this. Face me, warrior.
I'll do more than that. I'll show you the power I couldn't have reached on my own. I'll show you the power of trust, Jiren. Gohan Beast and Jiren, perhaps the strongest mortals in the multiverse, collide in an explosion of power. The clash of their fists boom in the distance like thunderclaps, mesmerizing everyone in the stands. They were locked in a contest of pure hand-to-hand combat, measuring each other's strengths with precise skill. Jiren initially had the upper hand with his different techniques, like fireballs and ki barrages with his eyes, but Gohan countered with his own techniques, unveiling the fruits of his training, generating keyblades with his knuckles, which he called Beast Claws. Everyone else thought it was a little corny, but they didn't have the heart to tell him. With this new weapon, Gohan was able to slash incoming fireballs and Ki's with astonishing speed and ferocity. Gohan slashed the air, creating his own volley of ki-based projectiles that dart directly towards Jiren. The Pride Trooper manages to avoid them all, but Gohan saw that coming, rushing in to slash his foe repeatedly from behind. Jiren couldn't believe the raw strength and savagery, yet each strike was calculated, and any attempts to retaliate were met with swift movements and counters. It was like he was fighting a powerful feral animal with the mind of a martial artist genius. Perhaps it was his Saiyan instincts kicking in again, or maybe this was his human side embracing the thrill of the hunt. No matter what, Gohan was excited. No longer would he have to hold back. He was ready to unleash everything he had. The real battle had begun. At their full power, Jiren and Gohan were able to fight each other evenly as claw marks and stray blasts decimated the tournament arena. Dispo, who had been trying to evade the rest of Universe 7, is barely able to dodge the incoming blast from Gohan and Jiren's battle, tripping in an attempt to avoid an incoming boulder, which Piccolo seizes the opportunity of. Then Namekian stretches out his limbs, coiling around the rabbit like a python squeezing its prey. Piccolo yells at someone to finish this now, with Roshi, the nearest fighter, performing a Mafuba that sends Dispo twisting into the sky. The Turtle Hermit slams him down as the fastest Pride Trooper is sent plummeting out of the arena. With some quick thinking, teamwork, and a little luck, Dispo had been knocked out. Jiren was the final Pride Trooper left, while the rest of Universe 7 was still in the ring. None of the gods could comprehend this. Why was Universe 7 this strong? Beerus simply smiles, overwhelmed with an immense feeling of pride. He knew that this wasn't simply because they were strong. It was because they all trusted each other's strengths and compensated for each other's weaknesses. And at the center of it all was Gohan, their leader. His tactics and leadership were the secret behind their outstanding success. Beerus had complete confidence in their victory. As Jiren and Gohan continued their fight, Jiren seemed to be at the end of the rope. Gohan's power only seemed to soar higher and higher. Suddenly, Jiren is struck in the chest by a kick from Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta that knocks the wind out of him. He looks around in a daze, realizing that he was now surrounded by the entirety of Universe 7. Gohan tells Jiren to give up. He stands no chance of winning. Jiren's resolve wavers for the first time in years as he considers forfeiting. He was too exhausted to fight. He couldn't go on. But from this stance, Toppo, Dispo, and the rest of the Pride Troopers were encouraging Jiren to keep fighting. He was their pillar, their greatest hero, their paragon of justice. They always believed in this strength. Even now, when it looks like Jiren can't continue, they believe he'll find a way to win with all their hearts. Jiren's eyes widen and he finally understands what Gohan means by trust. The sound of broken glass is heard as Gohan, Goku, and the rest of Universe 7 start to sweat. Jiren smiles, newly invigorated by the trust placed in him by his comrades and friends. Gohan knew it. Jiren had broken his limits. Gohan instructs his team to stand back and provide support while he, Goku, and Vegeta fight Jiren head-on. The three Saiyans burst their ki. Jiren roars as the Saiyans scream into the void, clashing with Jiren one last time. Jiren's newfound power was enough to hold back the trio, as Gohan wonders what tactic he will use. Goku yells at Gohan to stop thinking so much and keep fighting. Gohan nods, pulling out his ki claws one last time. Jiren punches what's left of the arena straight down the middle, cracking it with his immense strength and sending Universe 7 into multiple directions. With the team now separated, Jiren starts to target the weaker members. Krillin, Tien, Roshi, and the androids, even Frieza fell at the overwhelming might of Jiren the Grey. One by one, Universe 7's team dwindles as more seats are filled in the stands in quick succession. Beerus starts to panic as Belmont and the rest of the Pride Troopers cheer on Jiren. Gohan orders his remaining teammates to regroup, instructing Piccolo and Vegeta to provide support fire, while he and his father keep Jiren occupied. They nod as Goku and Gohan jump from rock to rock, charging at Jiren with renewed fury. Piccolo and Vegeta fired multiple ki blasts into the air, keeping them in place as they waited for their moment to strike. Goku's bright aura swirls with Gohan's purple lightning as the father and son duo unleash an onslaught of punches, kicks, and slashes. The attacks were so intense, Goku broke one of his arms in the process. Despite the pain, Goku continued to fight. He couldn't let his son fight alone ever again. Jiren is barely able to defend against his unparalleled duo. As he's pushed into a corner, Piccolo and Vegeta strike. They pull their hands in as a massive minefield of ki balls heads straight towards Jiren. In a desperate move, Jiren attempts to push them all back with a bunch of ki blasts from his eyes, yet he isn't able to stop them all and is pelted in a barrage of beams. Goku sees an opening and he attempts to charge a Kamehameha, pushing back his remaining arm. Gohan, suddenly overcome with an intense sense of deja vu, knows what he has to do. Gohan yells at his father to not hold back as he cups his hands with Goku, supporting him. His father was there to support him his entire life. It was now time to support his father. Goku fires a massive Kamehameha unlike anything ever seen before. Purple electricity coats the beam as it lands on Jiren. The hero tries to hold back the beam with all his might, but he knew it. He was losing ground. Gohan yells at his father to let it all out, every last drop of ki. He has the power to win. He knows he does. Goku shouts at the top of his lungs as the roar of an Zoro is heard, and Goku's eyes flash into a silver hue. Gohan shouts in unison as the two cry out a final Kamehameha resolve. The end of Jiren, the strongest warrior in Universe 11, is knocked out of the arena by the more powerful son and father Kamehameha. Jiren could only mutter at the power of trust between Universe 7 as Universe 11 is eliminated. With 4 contestants on the arena, Universe 7 had won the Tournament of Power. Goku chuckles, stammering that he actually did it before nearly collapsing. Thankfully, Gohan was there to stop the fall, holding onto his father with immense pride. "You did it, Dad. I'm proud of you." "Nah, we did it, Gohan. All of us. Thank you all." Gohan is quickly declared the MVP of the tournament. When Super Shenron is summoned, they make the wish with zero hesitation. Bring back the rest of the universes. The universes are restored as many people's lives are changed forever. Zamasu returns to Gowazu's planet in Universe 10, reflecting on everything he had witnessed during the tournament. The power, the kindness, the resolve exhibited by Gohan and the rest of Universe 7 moved him like something he had never felt before. He still didn't like mortals, but not nearly as much as before. Perhaps they weren't hopeless. In Universe 6, Caulifla encouraged Kale and Kaba to eat more red meat so they could become beasts as soon as possible. Hit roams the cosmos in search of strong opponents, all in an effort to further develop his time-stop ability. And Jiren, the one solitary pillar of power in Universe 11, vows to cherish the bond of his teammates and train alongside them forevermore. To finally face Gohan and Goku again, we cut back to Universe 7. On Earth, as the Z Fighters return home, Frieza is brought back to life by Whis. Gohan isn't happy with the decision, but he reminds Frieza to leave Earth alone if he knows what's good for him. The Emperor simply scoffs before leaving. The Z Fighters gather around, with their friends and family enjoying great food and music as everyone demands that Gohan makes a toast. Gohan is nervous at first. With the encouragement of Goku and Piccolo, he speaks up as he holds the glass. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. We've all been through a lot together, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the efforts and sacrifices of everyone around. Against demons, Saiyans, Frieza, Cell, and everyone else. Time and time again, we always work together to make sure Earth is safe. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the support of each other and everyone. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything you've done for us, and thank you for believing in me. As the crowd roars in cheers and applause, Gohan laughs nervously. Yet, all his nerves fade away when he sees two people, Videl and Pan. Gohan was overwhelmed with emotion and immediately ran over to them. Baby Pan laughs with excitement as Videl hugs her husband back, teasing him as she says that he's gotten pretty popular. Gohan apologizes, but Videl simply giggles. She looks into his eyes, saying softly that everyone here sees Gohan exactly as she does, as a superhero. Gohan smiles gently, promising her that no matter what happens, any threat that comes up next, he'll always fight to save the day. He'll never stop being her superhero. Thank you everyone for enjoying part 3 of What If Gohan Turned Beast Early. This is a huge collaboration between myself, Ragmain, and Professor Chimp. We've been writing this one for a while, and it's almost done, and it's been so much fun so far. I love Beast Gohan, and I'm so happy that I actually managed to get him in Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Did you guys get him? Let me know in the comments down below. Right now I'm trying for Piccolo, but no luck so far. As always, thank you to the Patreons of the channel. Patreons get to watch some of these videos early, as well as see art early on, and get a mini podcast, though I'm a little late on some of those. So, thank you to the following: Samuel Randall, Phil J. Akir, Dreadpool, Robot, The Legendary Warrior, Celestia, Keith Grimes, Salir Paranjape, Dakota Kaiser, The Gaming Galaxy, Drum Foster, Always Zero, Jim G, D-Man Plays, Trench Rules, Orange Bag YT, Jonas Paulus, Kaiser Jirachi, Lee Urquidez, Ghost 1571, True Lightning Striker, Angel MR, Shane K, Mystic Angel, Speedster 352, Jamie Pollard, Ethan Fraze, Jackie Effing Chan, Kevin, Free Flow Highway, The Main Finn, Crazed PlayStation CK, MG 102702, Blaze 9526, Herd Fanfiction, KV, Marlon Gonzalez, D-Man for Life, Xanos, and Pineapple EXE. Thank you guys for your support. It means the absolute world. I hope you enjoyed, and until we meet again, see ya!